think congresses like this are hugely important, and for Tanzania to do it unilaterally is a real coup. For me, there's obviously lots of great things that you hear in the auditorium, lots of important messages, government policy, sort of objectives and things like that, which helps us plan less in isolation. But actually, the real opportunities are outside in the sort of foyer where you do that business-to-business work. You can really drive things forward. But actually, I think the real highlight for Pan-African Energy at the stage of our contract that we find ourselves is moving forward, and a project such as ours requires real cross-government coordination. And to capture as many government departments in one room in a couple of days is hugely valuable. So I think that's got to be the highlight. We've been producing for 18 years. We've been operating for about 20 years, construction and then production. And we don't want to do it with expats. We have a duty, an obligation, morally as well as contractually, to transfer that sort of skill set. So achieving where we are today, 107 people in the company, 106 Tanzanians and me, it's exactly where we should be. And giving the opportunity for people like Revocatus, our reservoir engineer yesterday, it just does so much for their competence. It demonstrates what can be achieved, but it has to be underpinned by the fact that it takes time to get there. But absolutely, it's where we should have been going, it's where we have been going, and it's where we find ourselves today. In terms of moving forward, the workforce is largely complete, as you might imagine, after this period of time. So we're now looking at the next generation. What comes next? So we run scholarships. We identify the 10 best students on Songo Island where we operate. And if they're willing, we extract them, put them through secondary school in Dar es Salaam, and then through university education. And I think about 18 months ago, we had our first ever Songo graduate, who I believe is now working in Coca-Cola in a very comfortable job. Others develop their businesses, go back and return value to the community. And then separately from that, we have run educational programs, and we're building schools and things like that in the districts where we operate. So yeah, I think for us, we've got a lot of initiatives in the pipeline. We're largely grown as a company, but that doesn't mean that the transfer ends. It's a continuous process, from initial partnership through mentoring, enabling, and sustaining. And sometimes you have to move back across that spectrum as well and bring in some people to provide some specialist education so that the guys can flourish. I think on what is quite a narrow project here, if you leave guys just to learn from this single entity, they're probably not going to get the breadth that they need to go out into the wider world. And that is what we want to do. We want to make the Tanzanians that work for us now globally ready to enjoy this sector.